Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are tackling, probably the biggest question out there.
Life itself.
Exactly. The science of life, biology. Our whole mission here is to sort of shortcut the fundamental concepts. What even is life, and why can't we, agree on where it all started?
And that's really the perfect place to start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the first great difficulty is just agreeing on a definition.
Right.
Our sources all highlight this. Scientists don't have one single rigid rule. For almost every characteristic you propose, there's an exception.
Which is why they teach that acronym in school, Grim Nerd C.
Yep. Grow, respire, interact, move, need nutrients, excrete, reproduce, death, and be made of cells.
But hold on, that list,
Yeah.
it's a bit flawed, isn't it? I mean, what about something like a virus
It's a classic
that
example.
moves, it interacts, it reproduces? But it needs a host for everything else. Respiration, energy, is it alive?
And that debate gets us to what might be the real defining feature.
Yeah,
Organization.
organization.
Life is incredibly organized. You go from subatomic particles up to molecules, then these massive, complex things called organelles, and finally, the cell. That intricate, self-contained system is the real barrier for something like a virus.
Okay, so if life is that complex, how does science as a system of learning even study it? What's the difference between a good hunch and, actual knowledge?
Well, it really boils down to the critical difference between a hypothesis and a theory.
Right.
A hypothesis is just a suggested explanation. It's your starting point. A theory, on the other hand, is something that has been tested over and over and over again.
And it has to survive being proven wrong.
Exactly. That's falsification. That is the key idea for you to grasp. Scientists are actively, purposefully trying to break their own ideas.
So they're not just looking for confirmation. They're looking for the one piece of data that proves them wrong.
And if they can't find it, the theory stands. Is why we call something like evolution a theory, not because it's a guess, but because it has survived immense scrutiny designed to tear it down.
So, how does that rigorous method handle a question where the evidence is literally lost to time?
It takes us right to the greatest mystery in biology, the origin of life. And the sources are surprisingly blunt about it. The conclusion is basically, life exists, we don't know why.
Wow. Okay, so what are the leading ideas? The sources lay out three main competing hypotheses.
They do. First, you've got extraterrestrial origin, also called panspermia.
The idea that life didn't start here at all. It was transported here maybe on a comet or an asteroid.
Right, but you can see the problem. It just kicks the can down the road. It doesn't solve the origin problem. It just moves it to another planet.
Okay, what's number two?
Spontaneous origin on Earth, abiogenesis. The idea that life just sort of arose from chemical reactions in the primordial soup.
This is where that famous Miller-Urey experiment comes in, right?
Exactly. They took the gases they thought were on early Earth, methane, ammonia, no free oxygen, and zapped them with electricity to simulate lightning.
And they actually made something.
They did. They got amino acids and sugars.
Yeah.
The fundamental building blocks of life. But, and it's a huge but, they created the bricks, not the house. Miller himself later conceded that current science has no answer for how those amino acids just self-organized into something complex and self-replicating.
And that leaves the third hypothesis.
Special creation or intelligent design. This is the idea that the sheer complexity of life points to an intentional creator or a designer.
And we should be really clear here. We're reporting on the three major hypotheses laid out in the material. Creation-based ideas are often viewed as falling outside what science can empirically test.
So we've looked at what life is, and we've looked at the major ideas for how it started. But let's connect this to a huge paradox that sits at the very heart of genetics.
The chicken and egg problem.
The ultimate one. DNA holds the blueprints to make proteins.
But you need those exact proteins, those enzymes, to read and copy the DNA in the first place. So which came first? The blueprint or the builder?
It's a massive puzzle, and that's where this RNA world hypothesis comes in. It's a really compelling solution.
What's so special about RNA?
Because RNA, unlike DNA, can do both jobs. It can store information like a blueprint, but it can also fold up and act as an enzyme, a catalyst. They call it a ribosome.
So it's the blueprint and the builder all in one molecule.
Precisely. It's like an instruction manual that can also build its own printing press, a self-contained system.
So here's the thought we want to leave you with today. If RNA was the key, if it was this instruction manual that wrote itself, how close are we to recreating that exact minimal spark of life in a lab? And what would it mean for all the other origin theories if we succeeded?